Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen. Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated. I want to sever the fate of this world. A world of only victors. A world of only peace. A world of only love. I will create such a world.
Pirates are evil, the Navy is just. But that's only true because history tells us so. Children who've never known peace have different values than children who've never known war. The one who wins will rewrite the definition of right and wrong. They'll decide the future and how the past is written. Will justice prevail? Why, there's no other way! The winner will define the meaning of justice.
Why are you crying? This is your doing. You said you'd rather feel pain yourself than inflict it on others. You choose to be neutral. But you know what happens when you play both sides? In the end, everybody loses. You saw what happened with your mother.
Why couldn't you just live for me? You had a choice! Why didn't you choose me?
Even if it meant forsaking your aunt?
Yes, if she'd be here now!
Even if it meant hurting her?
If it had to be done!
Even if it meant killing her?
Whatever it takes!
Learn the lesson your mother couldn't seem to grasp. That sometimes, to protect one thing, you have to have the resolve to let go of another. But you're not weak like she was. You have the power to break this chain of grief.
Anyone who tries to take them from me will get no mercy.
And what if your decision ends up being the wrong one in the end?
That won't happen, because I'm not wrong. What's wrong is this messed up world.
The truth is, the more precious someone is to us, the harder it is for us to accept that they might die. Sometimes you actually convince yourself there's no way they could die. This naivete can't be helped. Especially with a generation like yours. A generation that does not know war. You might try to find meaning in war, but all there is loss and unbearable pain. War inflicts death, injury, and pain on everyone. Oh, that senseless death. It unleashes a cycle of violence and hatred that never ends. War creates only more war. It almost feels like someone set it all up. Like it was all the work of an actual god.
Do you believe human beings have hearts? No, they don't. They have souls, but souls aren't hearts. I'm the only person in this world who knows the soul's composition. After all, I change the shape of other creatures by making contact with them. All emotions are the result of the soul's metabolism. They're far too mechanical to call hearts. People place too much value on things they can't see. I can see them, and souls are no more special than physical bodies. They're just there. Do you understand? There's no value or importance to life. Life just continues its cycle, same as the waters of the world. That's true for both you and me. Our lives are meaningless and have no value. And that's why we can do anything we want. We're free to live our lives however we please. Don't let yourself get trapped by some ideal concept of indifference. There's no need for consistency in living your life, just as you eat when you get hungry. So it is that if you hate someone, you can simply kill them. I'll sanction you fully.
To take from another is tantamount to evil. From the moment we are born, we practice this art, perfecting the sin we've inherited. That's what life is, a continuous series of compounding sin. It is life itself that draws us into the darkness. I have accepted my fate. I know that I am evil, as are each and every one of you. Now, let's practice a different sin.
Why are most men so preoccupied by bloodshed? It's true that men possess a side that is rather savage, as you have already observed, but its purpose is to win things that are precious, as well as protect them. You could say it's like a double-edged sword. Love and honor are both important things. They are the things a knight is willing to die for. It's the reason they take up arms. However, for a man, I believe there is something that goes beyond that. Something even more precious. They are driven to pursue it. So driven, they do it entirely for their own sake. It's their dream. A dream. Men yearn for their dreams, regardless of their class, and no matter what their achievements have been. One can be sustained by their dream, hurt by their dream, revived by their dream, or even killed by it. And though one might be abandoned by his own dream, even then it will smolder in his heart forever. One should know what it feels like to strive for such goals, to willingly martyr yourself to the God-named dream. I find it abhorrent to simply live out my life for no other reason than I was born into it.
There's no point standing around. We'll only be showered by more boulders. Ready your horses on the double!
Be honest. Are all of us riding to our deaths?
Yes, we are.
And since we're dying anyway, you're saying that it's better if we at least die fighting?
I am.
But wait. Then who cares what we do? We could just disobey your orders. And it wouldn't mean a thing, would it?
Yes, you're precisely right. Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield. None of it changes what a speeding rock does to a body. We all die. But does that mean our lives are meaningless? Does that mean that there was no point in our being born? Would you say that of our slain comrades? What about their lives? Were they meaningless? They were not! Their memory serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen, their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them! And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us! Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world! My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream out! My soldiers rage!
You heard what I said and then called me a liar. Now you refuse to believe what I've shared. Your mind may not want to accept these revelations, but inside you there's a voice saying, accept it, it's the truth. Soon you'll know. Time will help. I feel sorry about your confusion, but this world's never really been about truth or lies. In this world, there's only one thing that's worth knowing. Hard facts. Despite this universal truth, people misguidedly choose to only accept the facts that appeal to their way of thinking. They're so limited, they can only accept the truths that are comfortable for them. So, this is simply about wanting to hang on to your personal power. Realizing things may not have been as we accepted them to be unsettles us. It's overwhelming. Are you absolutely sure that you know the truth?
Are you fighting me for all of humanity? If so, then you should know that my actions are entirely for their benefit. For example, in human society, lands are split by borders marking their territory. On the right side of the border, children may starve to death, while on the left, idle dregs who do nothing have everything they need. It's absolute madness. I shall crush that madness and create a fair world where the concept of inequality will be completely forgotten for all time. I don't deny that I'll start by using power and terror to accomplish my objective, but only when absolutely necessary and only to bring about order. You see, I have learned what true power is meant to be used for. To protect the weak, who deserve to live. That is its purpose. Power shouldn't be used to torment the defeated.
I have my own reasons for being here and for joining the crew in the first place. It's like that for the others, too. None of us have the same goals in mind as Luffy does. We all basically do our own thing for our own reasons. It may seem a little weird at times, but it works for us anyway. It can look crazy, like we have no idea what teamwork is. Especially when you look at our captain. He's a real handful. But still, what is teamwork exactly when you get right down to it? Is it just about protecting each other and helping each other out? I guess most people would say so, but they're just fooling themselves. I think real teamwork is about more than that in the end. It's about individuals taking individual risks, if you ask me. You work together by working separately. You stand up and risk your own life. You do what you can, the best that you can, and then you turn to the others and expect the same from them. When you think about it that way, what's so wrong with everyone on the crew having their own agenda, you know? That's my opinion.
If I may be permitted to give my opinion once more, Generals Zetor and Rudersdorf are logical pragmatists, highly skilled in political and military matters, no doubt about that. They make for great soldiers. In fact, the same could be said for you as well. Our strategic HQ is truly a bastion of logic, a fortress of knowledge. You could even call it a think tank. It's because of this that you've all come to believe the war is at its end, because it's the only rational conclusion given the circumstances. But, you see, that sort of thinking ignores one critical component of war.
And that would be what? Indulge me.
Our chief strategists are far too rational. In a way, it makes them blind to the real world. And thus, they've completely overlooked something crucial. Rationalism and pragmatism are not the only things that drive human actions. At our cores, we are all still foolish creatures.
You're suggesting that humans are merely beasts? That we're still slaves to our baser instincts without care for logic?
I hate to be the one who has to tell you this, Lieutenant Colonel, but what you just said is exactly right.
Preposterous. What evidence do you have?
Knowledge of history. Though I guess I really mean my own history. My own personal experiences and memories.
Explain how you know, then.
I have seen hatred personified. It burned in the eyes of a man promising retribution no matter what the cost. I have seen the moment when a talented soldier lost all reason and gave himself over to anger. I have witnessed countless acts of vengeance. They were driven by fury. And so I realized something during this war. No, perhaps it would be more appropriate to say I remembered something that I'd forgotten. But I have personally experienced the irrationalism of humanity. I know what happens when emotions make someone unreasonable. No matter how much we believe we've modernized, No matter what social constructions we pledge to live by, humans continue to be foolish creatures. We think we're so advanced, but when pushed, we still prioritize emotion over logic. When a human being's overcome with hatred, they'll keep fighting without concern for self-interest or reason, regardless of what they might stand to gain or lose.
Jean, there's something I don't understand.
What's that?
When I turned around to try to save you, that woman already had her gun to your head. It's funny. How could I have shot before she did?
I don't know. You shot first because she hesitated. It's simple. I'm sorry, Armin. You wouldn't have had to save me if I'd just done my job.
I know what it is. The woman I shot back there. I bet she was a really kind person. She must have had a lot more human empathy than I ever did. I pulled that trigger so easily, without a thought. I'm
a killer. And now that your hands have been soaked in blood, the person you once were is gone for good.
Why would you say that?
And you shouldn't regret it for 1 second. Because if you'd chosen to keep your hands clean, Jean would be a corpse on a cart right now. I'll tell you why you pulled the trigger. Because your comrade was about to die. Armin, everyone on our squad survived today because you got blood on your hands. Thank you.
You don't get it. Trust is the same thing as reliance. It's a fault of cowards. I have no need for such weakness. I have many subordinates, many who've pledged themselves to me, but I've never asked for any of their trust. I've asked for their allegiance, but faith is another matter altogether. In fact, I always told them to never trust anyone, including myself. Unfortunately, though, I've met no one who is strong enough to actually heed that warning. All creatures need to obey. No one can survive without trusting someone they feel is better, more worthy than themselves. To avoid that responsibility, those who are worthy look even higher, searching for more superior beings. And those superiors do the same, looking for even stronger individuals they can believe in. That is how all kings are created. It is also how gods are born.
This world is rotting, and those who are making it rot deserve to die. Someone has to do it, so why not me? Even if it means sacrificing my own mind and soul, it's worth it. Because the world can't go on like this. I wonder, what if someone else had picked up this notebook? Is there anyone out there other than me who'd be willing to eliminate the vermin from the world? If I don't do it, then who will? That's just it, there's no one. But I can do it. In fact, I'm the only one who can. I'll do it. Using the Death Note, I'll change the world.
It doesn't matter what you use to justify war. Religion, philosophy, resources, land, revenge, love, even a whim. No matter how trivial the motive, they're all worthy causes for war. There will always be war. The reason can be found later. Human instinct seeks conflict. In other words, war becomes a necessary evil. In the wake of this, the ninja villages of the 5 great nations will collapse. We'll have no choice but to use the Akatsuki. Then, and only then, will we achieve our true goal, which lies just ahead. World domination.
She decided to die at the hands of someone she loved, to protect the hidden leaf. No matter what words you say, to me, the you who could not protect Reen is an imposter. To me, Reen is someone not meant to die. So the dead Reen is also an imposter. Reen is only Reen alive. The Shinobi system, the village, Shinobi themselves, they created these circumstances. What caused me to despair is this world itself, this counterfeit world. Look at me! There's nothing in my heart. I don't feel pain any longer. There's no need to feel guilty, Kakashi. This hole was opened up by this world of hell. I only had pain inside here before, but really, what's the meaning in that? So I abandoned it all. Meanwhile, you have suffered all this time at Reen's grave, and mine as well.
This is a battle with swords, not some fistfight. As long as one of us is still breathing, then this fight's not over.
You're making this a fight to the death? Why? There's no reason!
You mean you need a reason to fight? Why don't you just accept it? You crave power, isn't that right? You enjoy fighting as much as I do. And anyone who truly loves power, loves to measure that power in battle. It's a simple fact. The question is, do we fight in order to gain more power, or do we gain more power in order to fight? I haven't figured it out yet. But who cares? Because one thing is for certain. There is no reason we should ever deny it or try to change, because we were born this way. You have always wanted to fight, and you always will. It's part of you. You do it instinctively. You have no choice but to fight. And because it's the only way to gain power. If you want to control that power, fight! Take your sword and cut down your enemies!
We humans, we're all the same. Every last one of us. For some it's drinking. For some it's women. For some even religion. Family, the king, dreams, children, power. All of us had to spend our lives drunk on something. Else we'd have no cause to keep pushing on. Everyone was a slave to something.
So, you were able to shatter that cascada. But you've accomplished nothing. When we sacrifice ourselves, it's to further our tactical advance. You, on the other hand, are willing to fall in battle simply to protect the other members of your squad. My subordinates were not simply defeated. Each one left behind a marker for me, a guideline telling me how to carry on the fight. If I lose this battle, the sacrifices of my predecessors will have all been for nothing. I hold within me the resolve of those that have fallen before me.
I don't understand all your melodramatic nonsense. But if I disgust you, then that's quite the compliment. So thanks for that. Malice is an emotion that's unique to human beings. It distinguishes us from all other animals. But what am I saying? I'm sure you're familiar. Rage, hatred, revenge, destruction. Malice has power. Because whenever you let those feelings of malice take over, that's when you're at your most human. After all, humanity's truest form is evil.
What's this? My life flashing before my eyes? Everything about this sucks. What was his name? That's right. It was Tatsu. The most popular kid in class. It's not like I didn't want to be the monster. Did I hate that Tatsu was always the hero? No, that wasn't it either. It's because the game itself just felt so incredibly one-sided and unfair. Heroes and Monsters is just a game of pretend based on kids' TV shows. Everyone's free to choose what role they play. Tatsu was the most popular kid in class. But me, I was friendless. Always with a dark cloud above. Everyone knew who the hero was going to be. I didn't stand a chance in hell. Naturally, there was no scenario where the monster would ever win. I was always the loser. The popular kid always beats up the little guy that no one likes. That's just the way the world works. Screw justice. And screw evil, too. I'm gonna be killed simply because that's what everyone else wants? It's not fair. I can't stand it. It pisses me off. All I want is to make them understand. I'm here to fight for underdogs everywhere. Good, evil. I reject them both.
The only way is to kill the Supreme God. Yes, kill him, Vegeta! No! Get out of my head! Kill him, Vegeta! Kill him! I refuse! What? Your business with the Kai, it means nothing to me. Kakarot is my only objective. I already told you. I will not be distracted from this anymore. I won't! It will take more than head games to stop me. You may have invaded my mind and my body, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps. It's
We lose, we take, we catch and get caught. We conform, and we make others conform. We do nothing but cycle between those roles. Take what we can and fight not to lose more than we must. But as hard as we fight, we will lose it all. The people we loved and were loved by will die. No matter what, someday we'll be forgotten. To live is to be unhappy. It's futile. Even so, small and grotesque as I am, short and cruel as this life may be, I still claw forward. I still search for beauty. Because it's worth it to keep choosing, to keep being chosen.
That's right. I am Kira. And what can you do? Kill me right here? Hear this. I'm not only Kira, but I am also God of the New World. Kira has become law in the world we now live. He's the one who's maintaining order. I have become justice. The only hope for mankind. Kill me? Is that really the right thing to do? Since Kira's appearance 6 years ago, wars have stopped, and global crime rates have been reduced by over 70%. But it's not enough. This world is still rotten. With too many rotten people. Somebody has to do this. And when I first got that notebook all those years ago, I knew I had to do it. No, I was the only one who could. I understood that killing people was a crime. There was no other way. The world had to be fixed. A purpose given to me. Only I could do it. Who else could have done it and come this far? Would they have kept going? The only one who can create a new world is me.
Well, Light, it's all over. It was good while it lasted.